Hi everybody. So today I'm doing a 3D acrylic design. It's just a floral design. It's quite advanced because I'm doing roses and I'm going to do a couple of them. So what we start off with is one petal. We push it out into a half moon shape with the tip of our brush, and then you can see there I'm just going in from the inside and turning my brush around and pressing it. All the time when I'm doing this, I'm lifting the back of my brush up so that it makes the end of the petal flick up a little bit. Makes it look more realistic and a bit more 3D. I'm just adding a little bit of colour there in the centre just to make it two-tone. I think that's Petal Candy, pink. And then I'm just lifting it up at the back to curl the petal around. Going in with my second petal, I'm just popping it underneath there, and then I've got to half overlap the last petal. So I don't cover the whole of the area, I'm just going around half of it. And then pushing it out into a half moon shape, pushing all the acrylic off the base. And then just pat. Always press from the inside with your brush backwards like this. Obviously on an actual person's finger, a client's finger, you won't be able to twist the tip around, but you just have to angle your brush as well as you can. And then I'm just lifting it up from underneath, adding my colour. And then I'm just going in with a third petal. It's nice to always work in odd numbers with these flowers, so either 3 or 5 petals if you can, and then just join up the centre. It's quite tedious to watch if you're watching it in real time. And then this is my centre, so I'm just joining it up to the last point of the last petal. And then what I do is do like a dotting action in a swirl, so like a bit of a snail shell, and then just wiggle it right in the centre so you get that really fine centre. It turns it into a little bit of a point if you keep wiggling it round. Just makes it look as if that's where the flower starts from. And then just press that last petal out as well. And just curling it in to make it look more centred. And as you can see, you've got plenty of time to work with it. It's not drying straight away, so you've got plenty of time to manoeuvre it about. And I'm just going to add a little bit of colour in the centre. And that's one flower done. I'm just starting on a second flower here, pushing it out into a half moon shape again, but it's going to be half on the nail, this one. Just fanning it out, lifting the back of my brush up on an angle so that it flicks the end of the petal up, the outside of it. Adding a little bit of colour again, just to add a bit of two-tone. And then a second petal again. As you can see, I'm really using the tip of my brush there. You need to really push it out off the acrylic. Adding my centre now, and you've just got to try and make it fit as best as possible with it hanging off the nail. This takes a bit of moving about, but like I say, you've got plenty of time to mess about with it. Put it where you want it. I'm using my Glitterbels 3D brush here as well. It's the rainbow coloured one. It's really good to work with. I do find it a lot easier with a better brush. And this bit I'm just struggling with because it's not quite going where I want it, so I'm going to wipe it off and add another little bit. Doesn't always go to plan. And again, just doing a little dotting action and a little wiggle in the centre. With the very tip of my brush. I angle my brush right on top of the nail for this. So not on a slant at all. And then just curl the centre bit round again. And then wiggle my centre in. And then I think now I'm just going to add a few little leaves because it just makes it look more realistic, more floral. So I add a bead and pull from either side of the bead just into points, just to make it a leaf shape at first. And then just keep wiping it down into a point. And then I'm just going to angle my brush and kind of split down the middle. And join up again at the end. And it's a bit repetitive, you have to keep going through it because as it's setting the whole time you can keep messing about with it and putting more lines and veins in them. And I'm just really gently going to press a few little veins in there. Make it look a little bit more realistic, like a real leaf. Doing another one here in this little gap. I'm just trying to fill most of the nail up really with this design. This is like my favourite thing to do, the 3D design. I find it really therapeutic. once you get going with it and you get on a roll, it's really fun to do, but obviously very frustrating at first when you're first starting out. And I'm just going to pull again at either side of the leaf, make it into a point like a teardrop shape. And then split down the middle again, just really gently. And then I'm just going to add a few little veins again in there, just before it starts setting, because it gets a little bit too hard to do when it starts setting. You could use a tool, I suppose, if you wanted to use a little knife or something, but I just find everything easier with my brush now. And this design takes me about 15-20 minutes to do, so obviously if you're going to do this on a client, make sure you allow the time for it rather than rushing. Just make them aware it'll be a little bit of a longer appointment if they want something like this. And I'm just going to add a little one up here just to tie it in. And that's it done. And these are all the Glitterballs products that I've used today, along with the HEMA-free monomer 500ml. If you'd like to purchase any of these products or inquire about training, please visit the link below. Thank you.